Meantime, major reversal by the Trump administration of an Obama-era policy. Today, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, is calling for tougher criminal justice guidelines. He has ordered federal prosecutors to push for the toughest charges possible, whenever possible. And he wants more aggressive tactics used to put people in prison and for longer periods of time. Sessions said today that he is empowering prosecutors to do what is, quote, moral and right.
Charging and sentencing recommendations are bedrock responsibilities of any prosecutor. And I trust our prosecutors in the field to make good judgments. They deserve to be unhandcuffed and not micromanaged from Washington. Rather, they must be permitted to apply the law to the facts of each investigation. Let's be clear, we are forcing the laws that Congress has passed. That is both our fundamental mission and our constitutional duty.
From our perspective, I have CNN's justice reporter Laura Jarrett joining us, and also with me, criminal justice advocate Jason Hernandez. His life sentence for a nonviolent drug offense was commuted by former President Barack Obama, and now he fears the Trump administration might keep people like him in prison. So thank you both so very much. And Laura, just to you, the key change here, what people can be charged with and how long they could end up in prison if convicted. Tell me about that.
Right, Brooke. So the new order here is very simple, but it's significant. He has ordered all federal prosecutors across the country to charge suspects with the most serious crime that they can prove. And so the sentences here haven't changed, but the order is to pursue those charges that carry stiff penalties, and that's the major shift. And it's by no accident that the change where we'll see this the most is for crimes involving narcotics, because under the Obama administration, prosecutors were directed to avoid charging defendants who'd committed certain nonviolent federal drug offenses that would carry those mandatory minimums in the hopes of reducing sentencing disparities, and with the idea being that those harsh sentences should only be reserved for the worst of the worst high-level drug traffickers. But Attorney General Sessions has reversed all of those previous directives today, saying the Justice Department is only enforcing laws that Congress has passed, Brooke.
Okay, so you set it up perfectly. And Jason, just a little bit more on your personal story. You were convicted in 1998 as a drug dealer in Texas. You spent 17 total years, 17 years behind bars. And while you have now moved on to be a mentor, I understand, I heard from my producer that you are nervous just coming on national TV. Because why?
Well, because, people ask me, what do I think about Trump and him carrying on President Obama's clemency initiative. And I jokingly used to tell them I feel that if Trump had the authority, he would probably put me back in prison and everybody else that President Barack Obama released, because it feels like he's kind of reversing everything to try to make it seem like Barack Obama was never president. And I'm part of Obama's legacy. And I feel that, he has shown the kind of target in the citizens in our country through Twitter and other media outlets, and I fear that if I say the wrong thing about him,
not the best connection. Let me cross my fingers. I want to hear more from you, Jason, but the connection is not awesome. So, Laura, let me just pivot back to you and say, have we heard any reaction from the former AG, Eric Holder, knowing his policies are being reversed?
Yeah, Democratic lawmakers on Capitol Hill uniformly blasted this move, Brooke, and the former Attorney General Eric Holder, who does not come out on these issues often, saying the policy announced today is not tough on crime, it's dumb on crime. And it's an ideologically motivated cookie-cutter approach that has only been proven to generate unfairly long sentences that are often applied indiscriminately and do little to achieve long-term public safety. Now, remember, U.S. Attorney's offices across the country only received this news last night, and they are the ones on the ground that are going to be in charge of implementing this new order, Brooke.
Okay, Laura, thank you. Jason, I am so sorry for the connection. I promise you we will get you back on because your story is important to react to all that's happening. I appreciate you and your voice, but meantime, we have to move on. Weeks after the man